someday you might see it. Yeah, never say die. Got to go.
Hello everybody, and welcome back to more of the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Subscriber Dynasty series. It's me, Cooper, and today we're here to talk about Alexis Rhodes in Season 1. Now, this was a character I had to do a lot of research on because guess what? She dueled a shit ton in Season 1. She literally got like a ton of duels, and she actually won a good amount of them. Like, actually, I would say above, as she's won more than she's lost. Or maybe about in the middle, either way. So this is Alexis Rhodes' deck, and she does have some interesting cards in Season 1. Now, the interesting cards I'm talking about are, she did actually have a ritual monster at that time, Cyber Angel Ben 10, as seen in her duel against Chaz in Season 1. But she did not have her other Cyber Angels. This is the only one that was revealed in Season 1, which is kind of cool that you even get to see a taste of what these monsters can be, especially since the ritual spell itself shows a different monster on it. So that's really cool. Now, looking at her deck, the rarest cards in this deck, other than having a ritual monster like that, are probably going to be her Double Passé, a card you do not see very often, but very good at doing direct damage, and very good at doing burn damage as well. It's actually super helpful. And other than that, I would say her Cyber Gymnast is also really good in terms of rarity. Because what this card does is after you discard a card, you could literally pop one monster that's in face-up attack mode on your opponent's side of the field. So if you run into an opponent like Damon that only has 4 useful monsters, Cyber Gymnast completely counters that and just blows them up. It's super funny. But that's going to be it for this. Let's go ahead and talk about Alexis in other ways. So her boss monster's easy. Cyber Blader has 3 different effects depending on how many monsters your opponent has on the field. And Cyber Angel Ben 10. Easy to understand as well. A ritual monster that does burn damage based on the defense points of the monster it destroys. Not the best in terms of attack. 1800 for a monster like this is not great. And she didn't run any real buffing cards for her ritual cards at the time. But, you know, it's still nice to have, you know. And obviously, just looking at her deck, you could tell I did give her some gifts. It's not all her cards. And that's because she actually did have a lack of monsters in the first season of the show. The monsters that I had to gift her were Warrior Lady and Command Knight. These cards I did not really see her use, but I did have to gift it to her. At least this many copies of them. So let's go ahead and get into Alexis's attack stat. The attack stat for Alexis is kind of strange. She does run Cyber Prima, a single tribute monster with 2300 attack, and that is really effective. Super nice. But then she runs another tribute monster with only 1000 attack, the Mind on Air. Not a very good card in general. It's actually pretty pitiful. She runs the Command Knight, which does buff all her warrior monsters, and 90% of this deck is warrior. It's literally only Mind on Air and Cyber Ben 10 that aren't warriors. The rest are, so that's really nice. But her warriors are not really that good. 1400, Attili Cyber's at 12, Cyber 2 at 1000, and Cyber Gymnast at 800. It's not a very good attacking deck. In fact, without Command Knight, this deck would be known as one of the weakest in terms of attack, especially since your boss monster is 2100, but it has the potential of being 42, one of the strongest cards in the game. Only if your opponent has 2 monsters on the field. Very situational. And Cyber Angel Ben 10, which is at 18 just for a tribute, and it requires 6 stars, but you can use Mind on Air to get rid of it, so it's not too bad. Plus, you have the buffing card Fusion Weapon, which is kind of nice. 1500 buff. Overall, I would say that this deck, in terms of attack, is below average. It's sad to say, but it is below average. And given that most of these monsters have trouble getting past 1400 attack, I'm going to have to give Alexis 3 bars in attack. Now, the reason she's getting 3 is because Cyber Prima does buff the stat, Command Knight does give buffs, and honestly, Cyber Blader has the potential of 42, so I can't ignore that. So 3 bars in attack for Alexis's attack stat. Now, getting into defense points, you don't need that many to get into defense points, because defense is not the highest average, it's more like 1600. Blade Skater's almost there at 15. Cyber Prima is at 16, but it's a tribute. Mind on Air is at 16, but it's a tribute. Command Knight is amazing at 1900. Attili Cyber is at 16, that's really nice. Warrior Lady, not great. Cyber Gymnast, amazing at 1800. This card can wall for sure. Command Knight and Cyber Gymnast are good walls. Blade Skater and Totally Cyber or whatever, but these two for sure are really good walls. Cyber Tutu, not so much. She's not about that. So the defense stat plus Hollowed Life Barrier, that is pretty good at defense as well. It does defend your monsters. So overall, boss monsters kind of bring down the average as well. Even though she does have some really good defense monsters, a lot of her tribute monsters, fusion monster, ritual monster are tearing her down. This is a deck I normally would give 5 or 6 bars, but I'm going to give 4 bars in defense. And the only reason I'm dragging it down to 4 bars, despite having 1900 defense and 1800 defense and 1600 defense, it's because Tribute Monster with 16, Tribute Monster with 16, Ritual Monster with 15, and Boss Monster at 800. It's kind of tearing down her defense stat. Plus, it's not like her other monsters are the best. We got Cyber Tutu, got Warrior Lady. It's these cards are fine though. These cards pass. Kind of. Blade Scare doesn't, but it's fine. Overall, I would say she has average defense. A good mix of defense is in her deck though, so you should be fine. The only reason it's not higher, it should be higher, is because of the tribute monsters, the ritual monster, and the fusion monster dragging down the average. So, looking into Alexis's speed stat, that's where things get a little interesting. Cyber Angel Ben 10 is a speed card because it lets you search your deck if you tribute the monster. The field spell Ritual Sanctuary, which was only used against what's his name? Freaking Chaz, is a search card. You discard a spell, you can add 1 light ritual monster or 1 ritual spell from your deck to your hand. It's actually pretty nice. Or you could shuffle any number of spells from your graveyard into the deck and then target 1 light fairy monster with that many levels. So you need to get 6 spells in the graveyard, which you definitely can looking at all this. And there you go. You got speed. Speed is affected by Scapegoats. Scapegoat summons 4 monsters. That's special summoning 4 monsters. That affects your speed stat. Special summons Warrior Lady of the Wasteland. That's literally floaters. That's amazing. That can summon a Totally Cyber. It can summon Blade Skater. It can summon a Totally Cyber Blade Skater. It can summon Cyber Tutu. There are a bunch of monsters it can summon. Cyber Gymnast. So yeah, these floaters are going to increase her speed stat. Ritual Summon increases speed stat. That's a special summon. Fusion is increases speed stat. That's a special summon. Honestly, that Search, Reinforcements of the Army, incredible. Warrior Returning Alive, incredible. That's both searching. Fusion Recovery, that's both searching. This is a very fast deck. In fact, I would say it's incredibly fast. And because of that, I'm going to give Alexis 7 bars in speed. There are way too many floaters, way too many searchers, fusion, there's searchers. Freaking, it's amazing. In terms of speed, this deck is amazing. The ritual the ritual field spell is really good. Ritual Sanctuary, just throw away a spell card. Hell, there's some useless spells in here. You don't need rare gold armor. You don't need fusion recovery most of the time. You can add fusion weapon most of the time. You can throw those away. You can get your ritual spell. You could summon Angel Ben 10 pretty easily. This deck is great. You could tribute Angel Ben 10 by summoning Cyberprina, and boom, you could search another Ben 10 out of your deck. There you go. There's actually a lot of effective means to using this deck. Or you could tribute with Mind on Air. Honestly, this is a very fast deck. Alexis Rhodes, 7 bars. Let's go ahead and get into her skill stat now. Now, the skill stat is where things get a little weird, because Double Passé is not only a burn card, but a direct attack card, so this one gets double points for doing both. Hollowed Life Barrier is a stall card. It's Wabaku, but a little worse. Boom. You get points for that too. Scapegoats is a stall card. It summons 4 monsters in defense mode. Boom. That's great too. That's stall. Command Knight is a lock card, being able to lock your opponent. If you summon 2 Command Knights, those Command Knights can no longer be attacked forever. They must be destroyed by card effect. There you go. That's amazing. That's an amazing stall card, and it's easy to pull off thanks to their high defense. And Reinforcements of the Army and Warrior. Yeah, no, literally, it's super easy to pull off in this deck. Honestly, this deck, in terms of stall, in terms of burn, in terms of direct damage, and Cyber Tutu counts, that's direct damage, she affects the skill stat. This is a very skillful deck. This deck is very effective. Honestly, I'm going to have to get... Oh, and this card does burn too. Ben 10. Oh my god. Cyberblader does not do burn, I believe. No, it just doubles attack, and then your opponent's activated card effects are negated. Yeah, very simple effect. That's it. I got to give it to her. This deck is very skillful. This deck, in my opinion, due to its lock will give you a lot of points, due to its direct damage, due to its burn, I gotta give it to her. She's 6 bars in skill. This is an extremely skillful deck. She's got stall with all light. No, it's skilled. 6 bars. Easy. Easily 6 bars. I feel like Alexis is a very fast, a very skillful deck. She's just not the best heavy hitter unless you get her boss monster out and their opponent has 2 cards. Or she's not the best defending because of her tribute monsters, but these are really good defenders. Honestly, Alexis Rhodes is a beast in this series. This is a very effective deck. And looking at her brick stat, yes, she does have 3 tribute monsters. Yes, she does run ritual monsters. Yes, she does run fusion. So that is going to brick up her deck. Honestly, I can say without even needing to look at the deck more, due to the search potential, due to the floaters, her brick stat, lots of dead cards, Fusion Recovery, Fusion Weapon, Fusion Gates, Cyber Angel Ben 10, Cyber Blader. Yeah, a lot of these cards can be considered dead cards, so I will give her a brickable stat of 5. She can brick with this deck. It does happen. Due to the tribute monsters, due to the ritual monsters, due to the fusion support, it can definitely brick. But it's not too often. So that's why it's just brickable. It is able to brick, but it's not that brickable. So 5 bars, she is still a very effective duelist. I would say that she's actually a menace in this tournament. And the reason I say that is because she does have the balance of defense, the buffing of attack. She does have easy means to getting out her ritual and her tribute monsters. It's not too hard to get out the fusion thanks to Warrior Lady of the Wasteland, thanks to Double A Passe protecting your monsters, Hollow Life protecting your monsters. Honestly, Scapegoats is going to protect you as well. There is a lot of good things to say about Alexis Rhodes. And because of that, I am actually going to give her a 3.5 star potential. This deck is a tournament winner. This deck has won me a lot of duels when I've practiced it with my friends. This deck is super solid. At the end of the day, any subscriber that uses this deck is going to have a lot of fun. There are multiple means of winning. Her skill stat is high for that reason. You can win through multiple means. There are lots of potential with searching, so there's a lot of protection. You could stall if you have to. There's actually just a lot of good things to say about this deck. I have to say it. That's it. She can win this tournament. She could easily win this tournament. 3.5 stars. Above average, one of the strongest decks I've shown off in this tournament so far. Any one of my subscribers that want to practice this deck, do it right now. Check this deck out. It is super interesting. It is really fun to play. Summoning these monsters is cool. It's just a little weak in the attack area. And Command Knight does not buff Ben 10, so Ben 10 is always at 1800. It's pretty weak. But overall, this is a really effective deck. I think you guys will have a lot of fun trying it out. I would love to see how my subscribers do with this deck. So if you're in my Discord, let me know how much fun it is to use it. I had a lot of fun personally, and I'll seeing you all later. Please remember to like and subscribe, and bye-bye.